coronavirus vaccine has been approved, just in time for Christmas. Now, you may have heard about some of what it took to get this vaccine out, but let me tell you, you don't know the half of it. But lucky for you, I, Dr. Virus, was there. Let me sit down for a minute, and I'll tell you the story of how it happened. Now, as I describe to you this Christmas miracle, forgive me if I get a little bit lyrical. 'Twas the night before the vaccine, and all through the house, every person had a Zoom meeting, all fighting for the couch. Face masks were hung by the front door with care, ready for the family to choose which ones to wear. After a long day in the lab, Dr. Fauci lay in his bed, while visions of antibodies danced in his head. The children were playing a late-night game of chess, when at 12 midnight, the FDA finally said yes. Pfizer had their refrigerators set to minus 70 degrees in hopes that they would soon put an end to politicians' stay-at-home decrees. With the ICUs filled and the toilet paper shelves bare, everyone hoped that Operation Warp Speed would soon be there. No one knew how to get the shot to everyone. They'd worried all year. That's when a scientist said, "I know a man who has 8 reindeer." And so they braved the cold, the wind, and the snow, driving Army Humvees, 100 million vaccines in tow. It took days before they arrived at the North Pole, but thankfully Governor Cuomo waived the throughway toll. They were greeted by elves who came to the door. The scientists checked the thermometer. It was minus 74. "We hear you have a guy with a sled who can travel at great speed. Can he deliver to the whole world tonight a vaccine that we all need?" The elf glanced at the calendar. It was the middle of December. "It's nearly Christmas," he said. "Don't you remember? In just a few weeks, we have to deliver toys to children all over the world, all the girls and boys. We don't have the resources for this. We've made some budget cuts. I'm sorry, good scientists, but I'm afraid you're out of luck." Dejected and cold, the scientists went to leave, when a bellow erupted. A scientist said, "Look, Steve, I hear you need a delivery to the world in one night. Well, that's what I do. Give me the vaccines, and I'll see it through." It was a big fat man in boots and a suit of red. As he approached, he asked his elves if all the reindeer were fed. And then he said, "Though he cannot taste or smell, Rudolph's nose is still red. He'll guide us through the night, and in the morning, the coronavirus will be dead." Then the bearded man grabbed the vials and jumped in his sled, before half of his elves were even out of bed. Now Pfizer, now Moderna, now BioNTech. To the nurses, to the doctors, to the x-ray techs. Santa then turned to the scientists and said, "We'll get this vaccine out tonight. Don't worry about that. But can you do me a favor and bring me my hat? I used to leave it by the door to grab on my way out, but there's masks there now, and that's all I can think about." And so Santa's precious sleigh took flight, and the 8 reindeer guided him all through the night. When the job was done, and St. Nicholas took off from the last hospital helipad to leave, I heard him say, "Merry Christmas to all. Now roll up your sleeve." That's a true story, folks. I was there. Now, this Christmas, please, be aware. The virus is still out there, still doing its thing. And we want to see you all when the new year rings.